All right, what we're going to do with the rest of this project is we're going to be setting up the phases and the demo phase, the new phase, and the existing phases. And we're going to be setting up sheets to correspond with that. Our layouts are going to match the layouts from your handout. The handout part 1 is we already did the customizing curtain walls. We also added the existing structural conditions. And what we're going to add now is we're going to create groups that we'll use as furnishings for the space planning portion of the assignment. And we're going to do that in phases. So we're going to be creating project phases. And we'll set up some scheduling and set all that up on sheets and display it. So we've already done the curtain walls, so I'm going to go through how to make these groups. So these are the groups that we're going to be creating. You're going to name them cubicle 1, 2, conference room, meeting room. I'm going to show you how to make a couple of groups, and then you're going to know how to figure out how to make the rest of them. Okay? So that's what we're going to cover in this video. So let's go back to Revit, and I'm going to go to level 1, view all, this view, and this is what your building should look like now. It should have the curtain walls here and here. This is the original one that was existing. This is the one we made in the video, and then I told you to go ahead and make these other two. We want to add some of the groups that we're going to be using through the project, and it doesn't really matter what we have set here for new construction, show all, or anything, because we're going to be able to set that once we place the groups, I believe. So let's get started. So I'm going to go under the component tool, and I want to load a cubicle. Thought there was already a cubicle loaded in here. Let's see. Is it under a different? Yeah, workstation cubicle 9x6. And we will add to that. Let's go back into component, and we'll add an office chair. So there's an office chair there. And I can hit the space button and get that to rotate, or when I go in here and load that, I can turn on rotate after placement, place the chair, and then it's going to let me rotate that to a 45-degree angle. So you notice that when I first placed the chair, if I hit the space bar, I only got 90-degree angle increments. But if we turn on rotate after placement here, then I can rotate it to whatever angle I want. I'm just going to make some slight adjustments to the positions of these things, and so get that where I want it, and then I want to turn that into my first group. So under the Modify tab, you have where did it get to? Make Create Group. So you click on that to create group, and I want to call this cubicle 1. I feel like I'm not spelling that right. Let me just check. Cubicle, yep, okay. Cubicle 1. Capitalize that to make it look the same. And then I can pick what I want included. I'm going to add the desk and the chair and finish. Okay, so you see how now I can grab that and I can move it around, and it moves as one piece. Now the advantage of doing that is I can now take that and I could mirror it. Let's do this mirror line. And then take these two and mirror those off of this line, and I could create all kinds of configurations that match what it is that you're supposed to do here in laying out your first phase. Okay, so but for now we're just making the groups. So let's do one more group, and I think that that's all you're going to need to know how to do. So let's imagine if we used a group, we made a group, and what if we deleted all of them? The other thing I want to show you is how do we get a group and use it. So if I click on the plus sign next to groups here and click on the plus sign next to model, I have cubicle 1. I can drag and drop and use it in my view like so. Okay, so it's all right for you to delete these. It's sort of like a block, and then you can insert it from dragging and dropping it from the groups over here. So let's create a conference room, the conference table. So I go to components, and we'll pick table rectangular, and I want to put let's put the brewer chairs around that. So I'm going to pick one position here, select it, and we'll do an array. And I'll do an array from, oh, we want 4 of them, I think. So let me start over again. So to select that chair array, let's do 4. And I'm going to pick from here to last to here, and it's going to put 4 in evenly on that side. Okay, so the last time we did an array, we did distance between objects. This time we went 4 and we picked last object, so it just figured out how many is going to fit evenly across that distance. I can take all 4 of these objects and mirror them to the other side. The table has a mirror line, and then we'll add a couple more chairs to the ends here, and I can mirror that to the other side. So that's my next group. So I can select it all this time instead and hit make group and call this conference. Okay, so that's how we make groups, and we're going to use them later on in the project. Pretty basic. So make the rest of the groups that are in here. You should be all set.